everyone. Hope you are good. And yeah, so I will start right now to do my session. So we will talk about my favorite topic because I know that some of you know already me or read my blog or other stuff I do in the community. And yeah, my main priority, I would say, is to talk really about Power Platform as usual. But of course, with my finance operation expertise, I think, yeah, that's the main point of this session. And you will see that now it's quite, still both world, two separate world, but Microsoft is really pushing to bring the two world together. And if you worked like me in the past with AX or CRM, even in Microsoft people, Microsoft employees, it was really, completely separate and they didn't talk together. Now we are talking about Dynamics 365 as a whole business application world. Like Anna said before, HR is moving to finance operation, but I would say that now the aim, the goal of Microsoft is really, I want finance, I want supply chain, I want HR, I want field service, I want sales, marketing. I don't care, I am a customer, I want a solution of a business application. And on top of it, of course, both platform and Azure for the pro dev part. So meanwhile, we are still two separate infrastructure. We have something that was quite that was a long time ago. I think it was in 2019 or 2020 that Microsoft started to converge little by little, feature by feature, something important to, let's say, bring really Power Platform on top of finance operation. And I think you have seen a lot of new involvement, new feature, new stuff coming for Power Platform. And you were on finance operation for a long time now, doing implementation, doing projects, and you say, oh shit, I want to do Power Platform, but it was still, complex or really, I would say, I think 2 or 3 years ago, not a lot of people or finance operation were, searching things or doing some stuff on Power Platform, But now I think in 2022, still we are on the convergence part, on the migration part, but it will be a long journey for Microsoft, a good road trip for months and years, I think, to maybe converge all together. But yeah, still you will see that data event and virtual entities are really, for me, a good opportunity to, let's say, do an hybrid stuff and do some stuff with Power Platform with this technology. So let's go. Oh, I was too fast, sorry. So just a little presentation of myself. So Aurelien, Clere, bonjour. So I'm French. I hope my English is good, but yeah, I'm global technical architect at Danagil. So it's a good startup on Dynamics 365 in France, and yeah, we are growing. That's good. I am as one of the 4 associates of Danagil, and we are we do, like I think like any of you, a lot of finance operation implementation. But like I said, in Danagil, we are, because I'm the CTO, I am the global architect, so I'm technical normally. Well, I do some functional stuff sometimes, but I'm more technical guy. And I'm Microsoft MVP. And yeah, at Danagil, we like I will show you in this session, we are really in this is feature. We have implemented that for maybe all of our customers, in fact, because we are really pushing Power Platform, and we have some guys and girls on Power Platform in our team that leverage Power Platform with finance operation. So yeah, I have a blog on top, so don't hesitate to follow it. I always do some very large, long article. That's maybe not. Yeah, I often didn't do, you know, a small article. It's always a large article with all explanation. I do also some videos on my YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to my YouTube, my Twitter, LinkedIn. Like Anna said, so don't hesitate to contact me. I'm always available to if you have any question in the future. And I think I have already helped some people about virtual entities in the past that I had some question about it. And just a little remark, just published my first book beginning of this year, talking about machine learning AI, because it's also my I love to do AI and I love to do machine learning on top of finance operation, because as you know, in finance operation, as any ERP, we have a lot of data, and of course we can leverage that and do like supply chain insight, finance insight, and other stuff like this. So yeah. So let's go, if you don't mind. So finance operation and poor platform convergence. So first thing maybe you have noticed for a long time now, that if you go to your LCS, you know, lifecycle services, I know a lot of people like me doesn't really like this portal, but still we have to use it to implement finance operation instances and do like environment monitoring, etc. Subscription estimator, so all BPM, etc. So we have a lot of things in LCS right now. And if you go to your instances, you will see, of course, that we have for a long time now a poor platform integration part on LCS. Okay, so I don't know if you have noticed, but even when you create now a new tier 2 instances, a sandbox, of course, even a production, you can ask to already create your Dataverse system linked to your finance operation instances. It's a 1-to-1, so you can't link one Dataverse to multiple finance operation instances. And I would say it's, like I said, I made a quick smile, but somehow I don't think now it will be, maybe in the future, maybe in the coming months, but I hope so, because of all feature we have, that maybe it will be mandatory, in fact, at the end, because right now the goal of Microsoft, as I said, is really a long trip to move everything we have right now on LCS to the Power Platform Admin Center. So why I have said that? Because even if you want to create your microservices on top of your finance operation instance, like my favorite topic, export data lake, or even inventory visibility, or even tax calculation. I don't know, they bring a lot of new microservices right now, but of course, planning optimization. So at the end, planning optimization, you know, the new MRP enhancements they have done will be at some point maybe also mandatory to use it, and not to use the all built-in MRP to calculate master planning. So at some point when this feature will be mandatory, the Dataverse will need to be mandatory. Even, you know, the LCS monitoring that are not maybe the great thing we have right now on LCS, so, you know, to track the telemetry. We have also new application insight that will be really soon, I hope, move to finance operation to analyze telemetry much deeper and to do some alerting when we have a good increase of you know, your implementation. Last thing for me, and that was, I think, for all partners, a real challenge is, you know, on Power Platform is really a software as a service. You know that now with self-service on finance operation is kind of software as a service. It's software as a service, but still, and I made a lot of Teams meeting with product team about that, is, for me, I don't know why we have this kind of telemetry on LCS monitoring, because if you go to Power Platform, if you want to check the of your Dataverse, you have things, of course, hopefully, you have things to check like Power Platform API limits, like plugin error or something like this. But on finance operation, it was still possible, you know, to see the DTU of the usage of your Azure SQL database. It's still possible to see the CPU, the memory. But when you are on software as a service, well, I don't know, but it's not really on your stuff. It's on Microsoft stuff to analyze this kind of thing. And the main point for me, with the fast track team was doing, the go live assessment with Finance operation. And, they provide, let's say they have, some infrastructure implementation or enhancement they will do, because you need to have an elastic infrastructure, because some of customers are doing a lot of stuff on the month-end closing, and the rest of the days or the months, it's quite, calm. And you really don't really need 20 hours or something like this. Like 2 will be enough. But during a small part of the year, you will need more and more infrastructure. So the goal also is to move this kind of thing to Power Platform linked to a Dataverse, so that when you request a new finance operation instance, you will create by the Power Platform, Center, you will create your Dataverse, and you will activate, if you have the licenses, of course, you will activate, the finance and supply chain or even HR, if you have the license. And yeah, all stuff will be, in fact, the start point to create finance operation instances will be on Power Platform Center and not LCS. But they have a lot of stuff to do, because we have a lot of things that are really individually part of finance operation, like subscription estimator or something like this, are not part of Power Platform. When you create a sandbox or production on Dataverse, you don't have to request fast track to check it. You don't have to request and provide an Excel file for the subscription estimator to let's say, okay, I have 40 users, I have those volumetry, so I need all those batch job or whatever. So yeah, the goal is really to simplify, like in Dataverse, the go live and all telemetry, monitoring, implementation, etc., to create the environment. So yeah. So to summarize, yeah, if you are on finance operation as of now, you're a good expert. I will, as it was exactly the thing I have told in the past, but right now, I would say it's really important for all people now on finance operation to look about Power Platform, Center, Dataverse, etc. Because at the end, maybe we will be back together. So the CRM people, the CE, customer engagement people, will talk again with finance operation people, because that's very important, I think. And this is, as I said, this is really the goal of Microsoft. The strategy is really to have a whole solution of business application. And when you request the field service app, okay, you have one Dataverse, you activate the field service app. When you need the HR app, you activate the HR app. When you need the finance part, you activate finance part, but on top of Dataverse and not on LCS or whatever tool we had in the past. So as I said before, it's really simple, in fact, to activate right now. So if you go to your LCS, as I said, you have a Power Platform integration part, and you can create your Dataverse linked environment. So this is really important, even if you don't need CE apps, like, as I said, sales, marketing, field services. Even now you have seen, but you have project operation. Project operation, projects. So even for project operation, you need, of course, a Dataverse system and doing some dual write purpose integration. I would say that, so if you don't need dual write, because like me, I made some project where I don't care about dual write, but I want still a Dataverse linked, because I need, of course, microservices of Dataverse, like I said, X4 Data Lake, or even, I don't know, but maybe in the future, I will need, like I will present you, of course, the virtual entities part, because I need to build some Power Apps Canvas apps, or Power Apps model-driven, or even Power Apps portal, for external customer portal, okay? Or even maybe more vendor portal, or whatever I need to bring to the internet, to the web, with my, it was possible, with Enterprise portal in X 2012. So, yeah, so really not complex to do. You go to your Power Platform integration and you click setup, and after all things will be done for you automatically. So it will link the two environments together, and yeah, after that you can do whatever you want. Small point, because some of them maybe, or yeah, maybe some people in this session, I have this implementation. This example was some customers are already on Dataverse or already had some customer engagement application already implemented, like sales or marketing, and they deploy finance operation after. Okay, so of course, sometimes you want to link your prod environment of finance operation that you will create maybe after 1 or 2 years, and let's say the prod Dataverse had been already created like 2 years ago, and the customer already used for 2 years now, and they want now finance operation. Of course, you can link it manually, but this is not really right now. It's still complex to link manually. Sometimes you need to again to request that by support team of Microsoft. So like me, I made a go live in January, and in January it was still not yet possible to link it manually. So this customer, I had to request Microsoft to link it manually. Okay. So yeah, that's but if you are starting finance operation with deployment right now, or it's already live for years now, and they don't want really customer engagement, but yeah, you can create the database. And last but not least, because maybe some of you will ask it still, so it's okay. You know that on Dataverse you have some storage by default. Okay, you have some storage by default, and when you create a Dataverse, it's provisioning 1 GB by default, even if it's empty. Okay. So of course now I think if you buy 20 licenses of finance, so I think this is a minimum right now. To do an implementation. So 20 license will go, you will have 5 GB, because the more and more licenses you will buy, of course, Microsoft provides you some free storage capacity on Dataverse. So it's not really a big deal normally, because yeah, the point you will see that virtual entities, you will not sync data. So that's the main point. So the data will stay in financial operation, but can still use it as a normal table on Dataverse. So you will not increase your storage by doing some virtual entity stuff. And after other stuff like microservices or inventory visibility, maybe you will have some growing system, even Finance Insight, as I said, because I love AI. Finance Insight, of course, you need microservices, so you need a Dataverse link environment again and again. And Finance Insight, yeah, we will have maybe a little bit, yeah, more data on your Dataverse, but yeah, I think this is, yeah, this would be enough. I don't seen a lot of customer where you have 10 finance operation instances, so normally at the end, 5 GB per 20 licenses of finance operation will be, yeah, it's quite enough, I think. But of course, if you don't have enough Dataverse capacity, you can buy extra additional capacity. Yeah. So that's it for the technical stuff. And as I said, for virtual entities and data event catalog, this is the only way. This is a way like Star Wars. Yeah, this is a way. So you just have to link your create your Dataverse linked environment, and that's it. After, you don't have to do technical stuff, because back then in 2020, yeah, even if you have done that, it was really it was not really a nightmare, but it was, yeah. You had in the past some stuff to do manually to activate virtual entities with finance operation with your Dataverse system. Now it's all done automatically. So when you create your Dataverse requested by a finance operation instances, you will see, I will do a demonstration after, of course. You will have a lot of things already done for you. It's not really a blank Dataverse system that will be created, but really a Dataverse with finance operations. So they will do a lot of things behind the scene. So that's really good because now with just a button, all stuff is done for you. So quite good, quite good. Lot of enhancement. Thanks Microsoft. So you will now maybe ask you, okay, but what is the goal of that? So why I need virtual entities? Why I need to do Power Platform stuff? Okay, so for me, the goal was really to go even further on finance operation because I am a technical guy, and so I love X++, of course, like any of you. So I I'm done. I not really do a lot of developments right now because as an architect, of course, normally I don't really do developments right now, but still, yeah, I do a lot of development in X 2009 and 12 back then. And on finance operation, as you have maybe noticed, but it's quite, for me, really important to, let's say, okay, my customer had a requirement to do an extension on top of finance operation. On Dan Agile, and even me, it's always, okay, let's see first if we can do that maybe on Dataverse system, because I don't know if you go now on Dataverse or yeah, Power Platform, because the Power Platform is a low code, no code. Well, I will say not really no code for me. Huh? It's still low code, huh? But maybe a little marketing stuff for Microsoft for that. But I would say really low code platform. And of course, it's for me better than to say to the customer, okay, for this requirement, maybe I will go to Dataverse and do, I don't know, a Power Automate stuff, or even the Canvas application, or even if you are a developer of X++, maybe, I don't know for you, but it's really a nightmare right now, even in France, to have new consultants because we are still hiring some people, but we don't have 2,000 people in France that know really well X++. So it's really a good opportunity to say, okay, I will go with a Power Apps Canvas application or a model-driven. And now you will see that's really important. With virtual entities, you can build C# plugin on top of your virtual entities coming from finance operation. So now, even a developer can do some extension, Dataverse extension, Dataverse Pro Dev development with plugin on top of your Dataverse, but based on the tables that are coming from finance operation with virtual entities. So let's say in the future, normally in the Visual Studio part of finance operation, it will be possible, you know, for if you know already CE, if you already know Dataverse, you know that you can build plugin in .NET, in C#, and of course with finance operation, this was still not yet possible. And yeah, let's say for me, it's quite less complex to do extension on Dataverse than finance operation. So for me, the first priority is to check that. And after, because I will not say that every kind of development can be done on Dataverse, okay? We will still need X++ development. We will still need ISV or something like this. But for some, let's say for some not high complex requirement, maybe it's always good to check Power Platform first. And maybe after, if you can't do that, or it's not really the good way, yeah, you can after, okay, now I have seen it's not possible. I will go to Power Platform, finance operation development as usual, okay? So main points, highlights feature of virtual entities. It's first thing important, no sync. So I know that some people are working a lot on dual write, and I'm even me. So dual write could be great, yeah, but it's not really, yeah, simple. And even that Microsoft, yeah, dual write was made a lot of. It was done in 2019, in 2020, but they made a lot of improvements of that. But still, it's yeah, quite complex to implement or to integrate to follow any kind of problem or something like this. So my main point for me is, okay, I have already my finance operation data. I just want to see it on Dataverse, you know, without any synchronization, okay? And that's the main point of virtual entities. And this is not really, you know, virtual entities were made, in fact, available in Dataverse system in 2017. So it's really a long feature, 5 years now, I think. And of course, I made a lot of improvements of virtual entities on Dataverse. But the goal back then in 2017 in Dataverse was, okay, I have an external system like finance operation, and I want to see my data as a normal table in my Dataverse, okay, without to sync everything. So that's the main point of that. And even in Business Central, you have now, of course, the same way. You can still have your Business Central instance and again have the table of Business Central available as a normal table on Dataverse. And we have the same thing also for HR. Just a little reminder. Well, until they do the, like Anna said, the migration of the infrastructure, but still we have also the HR virtual entities application that you can use it for HR app. So yeah, full in real time, of course. So you don't really need to worry about that. And in fact, they use the OData API, or REST API of the both world of Dataverse and finance operation. Okay, so no need to monitor that because it's really all together connected one-to-one. Okay, so highlight feature also, as I said, you can now use and you can still yeah. The good thing for that is if you are X++ developer and you don't really need this word, if you don't know this word, sorry, of Dataverse, yeah, you don't worry about that. You have a lot of documentation, you have a lot of MVP on Dataverse and CE, so you have a lot of stuff to learn on the blog or YouTube or whatever. And yeah, that's really, but you will see this is really not really complex to learn. Because for me, I worked on both worlds on CRM and AX in the past, and AX, of course, is a little more complex to learn than CRM. And yeah, so you can still create your C# plugin, and C# plugin on Dataverse is you register plugin on top of a table, okay? And you can, it's like methods of table in AX, in finance operation, it's quite the same thing. And you can do pre-operation and post-operation. So you can make the method, an extension of a method. Let's say when this field has been modified, I want to do some stuff. So yeah, you can now, of course, and I think Microsoft will already use it for some parts. But you can use Power Apps Portal, of course, to create a Power Apps Portal because you have your table, like a normal table on Dataverse, so you can build Power Apps Portal with your finance operation data. And this is really good. If you are going a little further, I don't know if you know that, but you have the PCF component. So PCF is a Power Platform Component Framework. So to make a large TypeScript development, on top of your Dataverse, if you want to create your dedicated component. So you have a lot of Power Platform community stuff, gallery. So I don't know if you go to PCF gallery on Google, you will see that you have a lot of dedicated components, and that's really important because, as I said, now you can have a model-driven app. Okay, so this is MDA, sorry for the acronym. So MDA, it's model-driven app, and you can create your model-driven app of CE with your finance operation data. So you can have a global model-driven app with your customer engagement table, like account, contact, leads, opportunities, all application, and you can bring the finance operation data on the same model-driven. So that's good, in fact, because for me, maybe in the future, we will have maybe a model-driven app dedicated to finance and supply chain to have, the same design of all business application of Microsoft. So yeah, that's a good way to to avoid to switch application. Like for project operation, you know that for project operation, you start the flow, the process on the model-driven app dedicated to that to some people that do opportunities of contract, of sales contract, dedicated resources or other stuff like this. And after you have to go to finance operation for the accounting team. So maybe you can still have if that depends, of course, of the customer. Some of them are not a lot of people on the company, and they just have to have a dedicated business application to leverage and do all stuff in the same app. Okay. And after, of course, you have the back office, because I would say that finance operation is kind of a back office, and the front office is more like the model-driven app of CE. Okay. Last but not least, yeah, really important for me. So as I said, my session is virtual entities, but also data event. Okay. So now with this stuff, it was not possible last year because last year when you had activate the virtual entities, as I said, even last year it was really a nightmare to do all the technical configuration. But now, as I said, you just have to create your dataverse and all stuff are already created for you. But after last year, it was not possible, to create, even when you add your virtual entities as a table in dataverse with your finance operation data, again, without any synchronization, it was not possible to register or automate trigger on top of this table, And now you can do that since November 2022. So with the version 10.0.22. Well, we are now on 25 now, that has been released in March. But yeah, if you are on 22, version of finance operation, it's now possible. You will see that in the business event catalog, you have now a new part called data event catalog. And data event catalog, you will have all your data entities of finance operation. So around 3,000. So a lot of data, even your custom one, because I know that a lot of partners are build and like any ASV are building a lot of data entities, custom one. Even if you have made a custom extension on top of your data entities, of course, you will see your custom specific fields. Okay, just important because that's why this is a long journey for Microsoft, because Dataverse, the data types are not the same of finance operation. This is an historical things, because like you don't have ADT, you don't have the enum are not the same, the Boolean are not really the same. So the data types of finance operation and Dataverse are not the same. Enum, you have enum in finance operation, you have option set. Choices now because they rename it, but you have choices in Dataverse. So yeah, of course, all virtual entity stuff you will translate that for you automatically. So this is important. So yeah, you can build your own custom model-driven app if you want. If you don't have CE, if you don't have sales, marketing, field service, project operation, but you just have finance operation, because I know that you have a lot of implementation in the world right now that are only finance operation. Okay, but you can still use virtual entities to, let's say, build a model-driven app, and yeah, that's really good, because model-driven app, after, let's say, it's really more simple to build custom pages, custom stuff. So yeah, that's really, really good for me. And Canvas application. Canvas application, I know that some people already started to do that, to, let's say, bring a new mobile application for finance operation, like for warehouse management or other stuff. Let's say now it's really great, because you still can do the both, but some of them I know that use, of course, the finance operation connectors, because again and again, now we have in Power Platform, you have 450 connectors, and you have like maybe 10 connectors per month. And you can also, important, create your custom connector. If you don't have the connector on Power Platform, you can create your own one if you have an API, of course, on this legacy application. But yeah, you can now use your build Canvas application, but you with the Dataverse connector, because you have, let's say, maybe you have to create a Canvas application with virtual entities coming from finance operation and cross data with Dataverse table coming from more CE part, customer engagement part. So you can use a global one, only one connector, and yes, so and even Canvas application are of course made more deeper or more great with Dataverse connectors than the finance operation connector. Yeah, and last but not least, also again, because I had some question about that. They say, okay, but why I need that? Because if I want to create a Canvas application, yeah, I will pick finance operation connector and that's it. But yeah, virtual entities, after you, as I said, you have all those features, okay, that you can use. So even the last point I made is you can use business rules. You know, business rules on Dataverse is really simple. Is okay, and that's not. And if I were in finance operation system, it's not really simple. You know, you had to request a developer, an AX to developer to let's say, when I fill this, type something on this field, I want to do some business rule and hide this field or something like this, whatever business rule you want. On Dataverse, this is really simple because business rule is like a workflow, you know, so everyone can make it. You are on the citizen developer Power Platform app, and you can build, you know, a very simple way to do business rules, to make this field mandatory whenever this field has been at a value or something like this. So yeah, really great. You can use customer API actions, events. So yeah, lot of stuff. I don't have all the whole list of all features you have on Dataverse, but you have tons of Dataverse capacities, because Dataverse, this is not a database, okay? This is not only a database. This is, of course, you have a database, but you have a lot of features. Because yeah, I know that some people that know SharePoint say, okay, Dataverse, oh, it's just a database. No, this is not a database, just a database. So demo time, let's go. So like I said, demo time, you have set up all the Power Platform integration. So as you can see right now on this instance I have, you will see that, of course, that's why I said it's not really mandatory as of now, but kind of, because yeah, if you want to use microservices, and some of them are really great. In fact, as you can see for this customer, I implemented, of course, planning optimization, expense management, inventory visibility. This is a really good one, and made an article about that, by the way, and export data lake, of course, yeah, my favorite topic. So yeah, you just have to need to do that. That's it. So I am on a tier 2 instances right now on a Contoso Microsoft demonstration environment, but yeah, I am on the latest version also, just for information. But you need to do that. Okay, you need to create, and if you don't have yet done that, as I said, if it's not yet done, you just have a setup button, I think, or even when you create a new instance now in LCS, it's asking you if you want already a Power Platform integration activity. Okay. When you do that, now let's go to the Dataverse world. So as I've said, I will go to Power Platform Admin Center, because at some point it will be the main portal to administration part. And I will go to my environment. I will go to the same one as shown before on finance operation on the LCS. And yeah, as you can see, now you have some fields to let's say, okay, you have this environment URL and you have this finance operation URL if you have well linked this environment, you have to, that's a good way to see if it's well linked also on Dataverse, is if you have this field displayed, it's good. Okay, that's a good point. And very, very, very important now is to go to Dynamics 365 apps. Okay. So when I go there, important things, you know that if you use already Jira Write, okay, because this is a way, this is a way to implement Jira Write, is to install this kind of apps. Let's say it's just an extension or something like this to activate the Jira Write. In fact, it's a solution. It's not really a solution, it's more multiple solution that needs to be installed on the Dataverse to, let's say, have the dual write activated. But really important for me, it's now you have to an update about that. I need to update it after. But yeah, dual write, when you set up also inventory visibility add-in, you need to have this also this solution installed on your Dataverse. And important, virtual entities now are already installed for you and all configured. So as I said before, when you create your dedicated Dataverse linked environment for finance operations, the virtual entity solution here will be already installed for you. So no technical configuration. So already installed for you, all have been configured for you. So no technical stuff. Okay. Okay. And for Finance Insight, it's the same thing. For Export Data Lake, it's the same thing. So you have again, when you create this Dataverse, this kind of Dataverse, I would say it's not a blank Dataverse. As I said before, it's really a Dataverse finance operation ready, I would say, with a lot of solutions already installed for you. So when you do that, to activate virtual entities, to see tables part of your data entities, the main point for me, you have two options, okay? First, for me, if I go to finance operation instance, I will go to system administration, and again, business event catalog. Okay, all points will be there, okay, for virtual entities. If you go there, first thing, I don't know if you have noticed that, but it's more than 2 years now. We have, of course, more than 15, I think, standard business events, okay, with a lot of endpoints that you have right now. So it's not really only for Power Platform, but you have also some Azure components that you can have on business events. So business event is really a trigger. Okay, so when I have an invoice posted, when I have a payment that has been posted, I want to, let's say, have a business event and trigger something outside finance operation by some Azure component with this endpoint, but also by Power Platform, like Power Automate, of course. But the main point is business events are great, but some of them are missing. You have just 15 of them. And if you need an additional one for specific requirement, you need, again, a finance operation developer. So you have the documentation on Microsoft. If you are a developer and you want to create your dedicated one for a specific trigger, you have a documentation to, let's say, an how-to development to create your own one, and after it's possible. But for me, this is still important that we have this both thing. The business events are more, on a specific trigger. Okay, so payment posted, is really a specific trigger than data entities, because data entities, it's create, update, delete. Okay, I create a sales order line. I want to trigger something on Power Automate. With that, you use data entities with virtual entities, okay? But if you just need a specific trigger on sales order line, I don't know, when I made a modification on this particular field, I want to trigger a business event with Power Automate. Maybe, yes, business event can be still a good opportunity to use. But if you don't want to wait, or you don't need a developer, and you say, okay, I already have old entities by standard. I want to leverage that and create my own Power Automate stuff very quickly. Yeah, you can still use, you can use Data Event Catalog. So Data Event Catalog, as I said, this is a new way to create a Power Automate trigger. And also, behind the scene, when you activate that, it will create for you the virtual entities on Dataverse, okay? So you will see there all your data entities, even, as I said, the custom one, even the standard one with your custom fields, and you have 3 types of trigger. Of course, create, delete, update. Create, delete, update. Well, delete, normally we don't really delete something on the ERP, but yeah, you have create and update, of course. And normally, yeah, if I go to active data event, I don't have it right now, but we will do that after in demonstration. But yeah, I can activate it. So let's say, let's say I want to create a new one, like as I said, sales order. So I will do that. Contains, I think, the good way to filter it, because as I said, we have 3,000 data entities, so you need to filter it, this grid. The good way is really to filter on the business event ID field, and you will see all your data entities, and I will pick, I don't know, or I will pick the header, okay? Let's say I want to pick and do a pour automate flow. When I create a new header of sales order, I want to trigger some pour automate stuff. So I will pick whatever I pick. I can pick the create delete update, because when I click activate, as you can see now, behind the scene, it will create my virtual entities automatically. Okay. For me, it's better because we have, as I said before, we have another option if we want to activate a new data entities as a virtual entities in Dataverse, is to go to your Dataverse system, and you have the advanced settings. And when you go there, advanced settings, you have the advanced find. So this is a old, very, very old interface of CRM. And you can have, and you will have, the table in Dataverse called available finance operation entities. And when you click results, it will call finance operation instance, okay, retrieve all data entities. So that's why it's taking some time to refresh it. And yeah, after it's possible also to activate these data entities as a virtual entities by this kind of flow process. But really, I prefer, I don't know, let's say I want a system user entity. I click on it. Oh, it's already done. I've already synced it, but maybe I will not use this. So like I said, this is why I don't really like this thing, and because there's a page not responding. Because I have a pop-up. Let's say docu-type, maybe. Up. I go to docu-type data entity. I want to have my docu-type entity as a table, as a normal table in my Dataverse. Let's go. Okay, I just have to click visible and save. And after that, it will create the virtual entities on the Dataverse. You have the refresh button is really here where you deploy a new customization on data entities. You have new fields deploy on your finance operation, and you want to refresh to add the new fields on the on Dataverse. Sorry. So the thing that I don't really like also is you can't enable it by multiple. You know, I want to activate this. No, you had to do it one by one at the moment. I hope so. We had some announcement about that. And just before, okay, as you have seen, now the sales order data entities have been created automatically. I don't really take care of that. Okay, I can click cancel. And if I go to my Dataverse again, I will go to check the tables, the tables on the Dataverse. Don't forget to switch to the right environment on Dataverse, to the same one again. And if I type MSRP, I have to click all also. I have my sales order entity right now. Good. And I have already my document type entities table. Okay. So if I go to the sales order headers, I can see that I have all my fields the same one as funds operation. Okay. I can have the data. So as I said, the data are already synced for me. Okay. So no storage on Dataverse. This is the same one as funds operation. Okay. One-to-one. So let's say now I want to create a model-driven application. So this is really simple. You can create new app, model-driven app. Let's say modern app designer. I click create, I select test. I have already a test. Too many tests. Okay, we'll create my model-driven app. Okay. Let's go. I can click Add Pages. I can create my form, and I will pick the MSMRP, sales order headers, add. So as you can see, the development on Power Platform are quite much easier than doing some X++. So as you can see, I can make after all my all stuff I want. So yeah, I can after create something. Yeah, so that's the way to create model-driven app. I can, as I said, I can edit the one coming from the sales application, the CRM. So I can edit this one. And if I want to, to have a global model-driven app with my customer, sorry, it's in French, but this is account, contact, leads, opportunities. And if I want to add the pages, I can create next. And again, if I want, I can pick the one, MSMRP, customers, add. And yeah, I can have, as you can see, I can have my my table, my funds operation on the same model-driven app as the sales professional app. Okay, model-driven app. So this is really great. And yeah, and the last but not least, as I said, in Dataverse, the way to do development is always based on top of a solution. Okay, like model in fast operation. This is kind of the same thing. So let's go to my solution, and the solution here I can pick all and do some external extension, but Dataverse extension, like any normal table on Dataverse. And since I already activated a table, sorry, since I already activated the table, like document type, I don't know, I click next, I click include all object I want, I click add, and now I have my table. And on docu-type, if I want, I can create business rule, as I explained before. Of course, I can do some external views or customize the views that I have by default, because the views and forms will be created for you by default, but those views and forms are really, basic. You don't have all the things you want. So yeah, that's still loading, but yeah. What else I can show you quickly, because I don't have a lot of times, but so yeah, I can of course I can use a Power Apps portal to make some things on top of that. So yeah, it's really great. I can do whatever I want, and also for Power Automate, if I want, of course, I can create an automated cloud flow. And this time, I will pick the Dataverse one, okay? Because when a new SO header, okay, I click create, and here I can add. I would say when I add a new one, okay, on MSRMRP, okay, sales order headers, okay, organization. Here I can also select only columns I want. I can filter rows. So still you can filter the trigger, because for that the trigger is not trigger every time, whenever I create a new sales order header. But you can say, okay, when I create a new sales order header, but for this legal entity only, okay, if I want. And after, but I will not have a lot of time, but yeah, you can build like any normal Power Automate flow. But yeah, that is not my purpose of this session, so I will not go very large on that. But now that the trigger from the Power Automate flow has been done, normally if I go back again in my funds operation, you will see that I have now a trigger on the Dataverse callback registration. Okay, so now if I go to the sales marketing, sales order, and if I create a new one, normally the trigger will be done for me. And as you have seen, I didn't use the funds operation type of trigger on Power Automate, but really use the same one as CE people use always, is to create, you know, a Dataverse Power Automate flow with the Dataverse connector, of course. Because as I said again and again, those tables are really like any normal table of Dataverse, so I can use the same one. Okay, it's still loading, great. Let's wait a little bit. Contact. Okay. So here I can show you, yeah, I can, here the model-driven app, you can see all customers. And after, if I want, I can edit this form also. If I want, I can add PCF component, as I said before. So yeah, a normal development on the Dataverse. So let's create just a quick sales order, very quick. It's still very long to load financial progression. Don't know why, but let's go here. Meanwhile, that needs to be fixed. Why? Oh, yeah, because it has not been triggered. I like this error message. Microsoft needs to fix it because, yeah, this is normal. I didn't trigger it here still, but normal. I will do that. Don't worry. Control Europe and click on OK. Go. OK. Customer requisition. Yeah. Whatever. It's a demonstration environment. So normally my sales order will be created and trigger automatically the Power Automate flow. And when it's loading, just reminder, you have 450 connectors on Power Platform, and you can, after, I don't know, do a lot of things, because as I said, you can activate that for all your data entities as part of virtual entities on Dataverse, and after do, I don't know, schedule, push something on Teams. You can use all the Power Platform connectors to do a good workflow, and really good. So normally, yeah, my sales order has been created, and let's wait a little bit. But the first trigger is kind of, yeah, you need to wait a little. But normally, at the end, it will trigger the flow. I hope so. Or I don't know if I will a demonstration problem. Total Europe, yeah. It's created. Not yet again, okay. But normally I have my my business event catalog. Data event is well activated on sales order headers. Okay, so normally it will trigger at some point. Not yet, okay. Very odd. Normally it works, of course. It works. But if you don't want, I can show you that very quickly, because for this customer, I made a lot of flows, like for MRP, to update the coverage group. So for that, here, as you can see, we have a lot of things. And as you can see here, I have made, it's in production, this kind of flow. When I have a new sales order lines, okay, I want to update the coverage group of the product itself to have a better, better things for MRP stuff. So after you can do a lot of stuff, and you can still call after the financial correlation if you want connectors. But yeah. Okay, so I think I have finished my session, but maybe we have some question.
Thank you, Aurelien. We've got 2 minutes for Q&A. Let's see if there's any Q&A. Luckily, no, there isn't. I think people were just really interested to see exactly how you enabled the virtual entities and obviously creating your apps and your flow, which you obviously did in your demonstration, which was really great. I think most of F&O developers haven't actually managed to do this yet. So thanks for showcasing that. Yeah, so Declan just said, Mercy, that is very interesting.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, so any questions? We've got 1 more minute left for any questions. Let's take a quick look if there's any questions.
I will still be there. If you have some question also by message, I can answer it after if you want.
Sure,
but,
fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah, really enjoyed that session, Aurelien. So, yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to drop that in the chat. And once again, thank you to Aurelien for joining us from France today. Always a great honor to have you on.
Thank you, Raz. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Awesome.
See you.
See you soon. See you soon.